ahead and handing it off to you for a Mariners update.
We have, again, it's since the lockout has begun, Mariners news and MLB news as a whole have really just kind of shrunk down to size like Ant-Man. There's kind of one thing to look at here. I mean, this has been present since the free agency period actually began. The Mariners are looking into outfielder, and they are a front runner for outfielder Seiya Suzuki. He's an outfielder from Japan, relatively good slugger. The Giants are also in the mix, but the Mariners and the Giants are supposed to be the two front runners for Suzuki. If not to compare him to Shohei Ohtani at all, because Shohei is a different talent. That's just a different beast in itself, and I believe the age range is different there as well. But when Shohei Ohtani's the sweepstake was taking place, the Mariners were the front runner to sign Shohei Ohtani. That didn't work out now, did it? It would be a great addition, but it also, you look at it, the outfield for the Mariners is already in a logjam in itself. You know, you look at Kyle Lewis, Mitch Haniger, Jared Kelenic last year. You know, Taylor Trammell is in the system. Jake Fraley's out there somewhere. You know, I know that Adam Frazier can play some outfield, so you've kind of got a logjam, and there's a ton of Julio Rodriguez, the number one prospect in all of baseball, is knocking on the door. So it's interesting to think about. You'd love to add talent. I mean, if you look at it in any sport, I love to add more talent when I can, whether it's because of cap space limitations or positional limitations. You know, I will. See, this is why I'm glad I'm not a general manager, because I don't have to make these decisions necessarily. But in talking about it, I do, right? Because I do have to look at it. I would say do it. I would say do it now, worry about it later. You've got Julio Rodriguez, let him develop as much as he can. You know, you can have one of those outfielders play designated hitter, because you don't necessarily have a set DH right now. It's exciting to look at, and being a front runner is nice, but it doesn't matter until that pen hits paper. And that can happen until the lockout ends. Lockout news, I mean, not much. I know that there were some meetings last week, and it was kind of like both sides put their projections onto the table, and they were like going to whittle it down to move closer. But that's all we've heard. The only league note really is that the MLB is scrapping its vaccine plan. The league is reversing course on its previous requirement for minor league players to be vaccinated for the 2022 season. So the lockout upcoming. I mean, pitchers and catchers are supposed to report to spring training in mid-February. So unless that happens this week and the lockout ends, I doubt we're looking at that. And I think last week we talked about it. The league itself is willing to lose games in the lockout, which I don't like. I don't like one bit.
It's just discouraging as a fan.
Yeah. It's just like, we're going to be stubborn. If I don't get my way, screw it. You guys are going to suffer because of it, you know? Which sucks, because I know that the 1995 lockout drew a lot of people away from baseball.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, especially with how much positive momentum there is going into the Mariners this season and how much was continuing with free agency, right? Let alone the season last year and barely making the playoffs again. The youth, the way that this team fought. The last 3 games of the season, the sellout crowds.
Oh, yeah.
You sign the AL Cy Young winner, you get a guy like Adam Frazier who can, is a consistent bat, hopefully, it has the versatility to play just about anywhere on the field. And you're closing in on guys like Chris Bryant or Trevor Story, and then everything, you hit the pause button. It's tough, and I'm sure that there were people, who maybe went to those games in the last homestand or, saw it and were excited to get into baseball again because of how much hope there was, and now it's on hold because of the lockout and, the uncertainty of when we're going to get back to things. So I hope that there is a sense of, hey, this is a big deal. We need to get this taken care of before it affects our fan base, because the MLB fan base is already struggling. You already deal with blackouts around the country. People are trying to watch games. They want to watch these games that aren't necessarily the marquee matchups. They want to, maybe you want to see the Mariners play down the stretch because you like the run that they're on, right? And you can't because there's a blackout, and it's like, we don't. There are several issues that need to be addressed, but the main one right now for the MLB is to deal with the lockout and get it out of the way. So